This is the self-titled podcast of the Golf in Japan website, where you can check essential information in English about golfing in Japan, including more than 2,000 courses. We can help you book your round and make the whole process a whole lot easier. So check out golf-in-japan.com and start planning your Japan golf trip today.
Titleist Club Fitting, the fastest way to better. With a player-focused philosophy on fitting, Titleist offers a range of club fitting experiences from drivers to wedges. Your Titleist fitting specialist, thanks to an unmatched selection of products and technology, along with a wealth of fitting knowledge, will provide you with tour-quality fitting experience that can provide immediate benefits for your game. You can experience a fitting in English while in Japan. Just go to the Golf in Japan website and click on the Titleist banner. Or check the link in the description of this podcast. Titleist, the fastest way to better.
Okay, Golf in Japan. We are now a couple of days after the Ryder Cup, but we...
Post-Ryder,
post-mortem
having
for the US
Ryder
team.
withdrawals already? Like the 2
Well, I'll tell you what, I stayed up till 6 o'clock in the morning, 3 days in a row.
You have a Ryder hangover.
Yeah, and I'm no spring chicken, so it did take me about 3 days to get over it. And then, with all of this stuff, especially the American media doing all the breakdown constantly of the Ryder Cup. Is it the captain's
Everyone's
fault,
digging at
setup?
every scab they can get into too. It's like any little like remark or side-eyed, like everyone's heaping meaning on it.
First things first, before we get into all that, Europe.
Congratulations.
We love you, Rory. Love you, Rory. No, it was amazing performance by the Europeans, and no matter what way you slice it, they outplayed the Americans, particularly on the first 2 days.
100%. I mean, we called it in last week's podcast, to be honest.
That's what a lot of people are saying too, where it's like the Americans played amazing, but it's just
No,
Europeans played
singles
more amazing.
In the singles, that's right.
Yeah, there was some mad stats coming in. I think it was Rose had like 7 birdies in 9 holes. I mean, that kind of golf is just phenomenal.
I kind of feel like that's why when we said it like last week that why is Europe stronger compared to the US team and stuff, and we kind of brought it down to they were better as a team,
right,
rather than individuals.
Totally.
And that really showed in the pairings. They just creamed them, and in the individuals, that's when America
they were dangerous.
Stepped up.
A lot of people talk about like, they're hugging or they have that camaraderie, but is it something more? Because I mean, like you're not able to play your own ball. So it's like, for example, like Fleetwood Mac, it's like they're so good together, and it's just because like
Fleetwood Mac.
What a great name!
that like maybe Fleetwood knows where he knows McIlroy's going to be able to hit well from here, so it's almost like he's setting it up for his partner. Whereas Schauffele, like I made the joke, it's like he's the American sniper, number 1 in the world, right? Supposedly, so it's like right now, so like I thought he was just going to dominate, but he just couldn't really keep it in the red.
If we're going to start crapping on the US team, which I think we are, I think
I need
some
more
of the
time.
pairings.
I know. Hold on.
Some of the pairings were random.
Pick a number,
right? Henley and Scotty Scheffler. That was random. And Scheffler, everyone was saying like Scheffler's great off the tee, but he hits it straight. He's accurate with his irons and everything. And then the other guy is
I think that was
the best putter on tour.
It was obviously strategic, without a doubt, right?
Yeah.
But maybe Keegan was like, he's going to carry him for most of it, and it's probably okay. So it's a win anyway.
No, but
they ended up losing.
It was like kind of a balance.
You got to think about personality.
know.
It's a personality thing, right there. You're not going to see Henley and Scheffler kissing each other and hugging each other.
No.
They give them a low dap, and that's it, right? And then you can see Henley was kind of. He's like a rookie, right? And
so
Scheffler's a quiet guy,
Scheffler,
right? So where the other guys are hugging and high fiving, that's the team. It doesn't matter who goes first, or they're playing for each other. They don't want to let the other team down, but they're comfortable together.
Yeah,
and you putting Scheffler with, you got to put him with an alpha. You got to put him with a DJ or a Brooks Koepka, and they weren't in the picture.
Yeah, but I mean that'd be two stronger people together. I think that would have been wasting at least one team somewhere else.
Reckon?
Yeah, I do.
Like with the Europeans, you can think of multiple good pairings. like Rahm and Hatton. Like the garden gnomes, as you said them, like with their beards, right? Like,
did I call them that?
You said that, yeah. It must have been in your 3 a.m. days, But I mean, like they were so good together, I felt like just like Rahm is like the Terminator, and Hatton is like, kind of keeping it together. I think there was a few times where he kind of had the wheels coming off, but Rahm brought it back. That's amazing.
One of the notes I had, because I was taking notes as I was watching the thing, and it's 7 birdies and 12 holes for alternate shot, Rahm and Hatton. So alternate shot is like, it's so hard
but they were just absolutely. You just can't beat that, you know.
Right. And that's why I think where people talk about the teamwork, and I think it comes to that. Like, who are you comfortable playing off their shot? And the Americans just to my eyes, I didn't see it, you know.
Yeah. Okay, there's a couple of other things just everybody's talking about, but we have to go through it, right? So a couple of the hot takes. So the course setup. So Bethpage Black is supposed to be it's a US Open venue, one of the hardest golf courses in that rota roster schedule, whatever. And they cut the rough all down to make it better for those guys, but it kind of backfired because all the guys play Europe and America are all kind of same level. And where they thought they were going to get some sort of advantage, they didn't. And everybody was on the green. Nobody had any problem to get out of the rough. I remember it was the very first shot. I think it was John Rahm hits one, what looked to me like it was flying right, way, way right. I was like, oh, wow, it's like he's not going for the green, is he? Of course, he lands, 20, 30 yards short of the green in the rough. But it's fine. It's popped up nicely. And they all knew that. And I was like, oh, I was expecting carnage. And because I hadn't been really listening to about the setup and stuff like that. So they took the teeth away. And I think they did that to make it easier for the Americans. But they also made it easier for the Europeans.
No, I reckon it made it easier for the US team.
Because we had... when I say we, I mean Team Europe had Rome and also Paris the 2 years before that set up really rough. Like the rough was high, it tapered in. They were trying to, make the long hitters basically suffer.
Who has better long hitters, America or?
They're all long now.
They're all just
all long now. I mean, Rahm, Rory McIlroy, Hatton, they all hit it long.
People were out driving DeChambeau.
Yeah.
So, they all hit it long.
Yeah, he was just getting amped up and doing the long drive thing on the first hole. So he was getting a little bit closer to the green than most people, but generally he wasn't.
A couple of yards.
Yeah. But
yards.
That's the home advantage is you get to set up the golf cart, the golf course. So they messed it up basically.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Yeah, they should have played more rounds there, got the guys to practice it more, really had some, inside information as to where to miss and where to hit it, and really set it up that way. But it was like you could hit it anywhere. You could spray the driver and you'd be fine up and down. So I think that was, and then, the way the Europeans were putting, and the Americans, you said it earlier, they weren't playing that bad, but they just weren't playing lights out like the Europeans were. So, all right, so that was one thing. Okay, we have to talk about the fans.
Disgusting. Absolutely appalling.
Are you sure you're done talking about the players? Like, or maybe we got to come back to that so we don't.
No, I think the bigger story is the crowd and the supporters.
Well, look,
I think it was absolute disgusting behavior.
They from the get-go, the USGA hired an MC who's some comedian, and on the first tee, on the first day, she's getting the crowd to chant "F you, Rory."
No way.
Yeah, they paid her to do it.
USGA brought her,
they fired her and said, oh, she wasn't supposed to do that and blah, blah, blah. And she's apologised. But obviously she was getting some instruction. They're going to turn, hype up the crowd, get them to do some chants, blah, blah, blah. And it was just from the get-go, just everybody wasn't, I understand it's like, you want a bit of banter. And I heard a few good ones from the American crowd. And, the Europeans were, I'm sure, were giving it to the Americans. But it was just direct insult in the backswing,
hateful,
putting them off.
It was hateful. I agree. Yeah.
Hateful. They had squeaky toys and they were doing it in their backswing, and Rory lost it a few times, turned around, and it's well publicised that he's going shut the F up.
Yeah, and then puts it so close.
Yeah, and
do you think this is a bit of a spin-off or related to how Scottsdale's gone over the years? You got that party hole down there, and it's just getting out of control.
No, but they're not.
As well.
You're not getting New York fans coming there to give abuse. They're just going to party. Like there's very famous videos of Scottsdale where there's girls in high heels going, "Is there a golf tournament on?"
Yeah, I know.
I thought it was a rave.
But I guarantee you, a lot of this, the comments and stuff was coming from alcohol-induced.
Of course, yeah.
Supporters.
Yeah, totally. People who don't know anything aren't the ones calling out somebody's, insulting them to their face, right? Yeah.
So.
Plus the New York crowd. I mean, and with the American team playing badly, instead of going, yeah, come on, you can do this, they're like, okay, let's just crap on the European team till they crack.
I think that I'm all for heckling and stuff like that, but there's limits.
Yeah,
and
a bit of banter.
There was so many lines crossed. It was so appalling to listen to.
That's definitely a sort of a separate point in terms of like what's even like what's good sportsmanship in terms of the crowd's participation. But then like I also heard like in some ways like it was to Europe's credit that they took the wind out of the sails of the Americans early. So you don't have anything to support. You're just like...
Going back to your comment...
You're milling around in between the places. It's all hot and you're crowded 100%. And you're getting upset because you don't have anyone to root for. So you're just going to lash out with hate.
But that's not the issue. The Europeans, to their credit, used that as fuel, right? So they ended up winning, and they, it was us against them or them against whatever the American team. But what I'm saying is, like, when they're about to take a shot, you can see it in Europe. They'll just go quiet, and they weren't doing it. They were still screaming.
That's where the line is.
And these are golfers, we think, right? These are maybe they're from Long Island, maybe they're rough New Yorkers, but they know the etiquette. You don't make a sound at someone's backswing because you want to see good golf as well. And these are guys who love Rory and Rose and Tommy Fleetwood from Monday to Friday most weeks. And then they were just giving them that. And then the thing that went really over the line was, throwing the beer at Rory's wife, and then all the abuse coming into the families and talking about kids and everything. I mean, that's just
exes and all.
Yeah, I'd seen some Irish media where it was Shane Lowry's dad was interviewed, and he was saying, like, we were warned before, but he said, like, the stuff I heard following Shane and Rory around on Saturday was just unbelievable. He said nothing was sacred. They were talking about the kids. They were talking about the wife.
No, that's not good.
They were screaming all sorts of abuse to get under his skin, just to get him going. And you could see Shane was losing his head all the time. But at least they got the point out of it. But yeah, so that was disappointing.
It is.
The next one's in Ireland. So let's see. Hopefully the Irish fans showed them how it should be done.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried about that.
Some revenge.
No, I mean, listen, to be honest with you, it was $750 minimum a ticket, going up to God knows what on the black market. Like, the Irish guys who can afford that aren't going to come to, they're not like just, any old courier from the street. These are going to be like, golfers who are quite well to do and stuff. Now, I'm sure there will be drunk people there.
It might be some carnage in the pubs. In the evenings afterwards, a bit of lock, stock, and
I got a bit of
accent there, mate.
But I think it'll all be in good
sure.
in good humour. And
Guys,
I don't think they'll be looking to see good golf, and they'll want Europe to win
for sure
in the right way.
Yeah. Well, my only pet peeve with the fans was everyone who's like, they're in the backswing of teeing off, and they're saying "get in the hole." Like, I'm so sick of that phrase. Everyone says, get in the hole, get in the hole. Like,
but they normally say that as the ball's been hit, though. Not in the back
3 seconds, though, I swear. It's like, everyone, like, I don't know. It just seems like that is like the most annoying thing. Everyone's saying it. Like,
I think there was more annoying things than that being said now, in fairness. But okay, so
I must have had the G-rated version.
And then I was just, some thoughts I had was, Shane Lowry won. He had the winning putt. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah.
And, he goes off and does an Irish jig, and you just see how excited he is, and he's crying in the post interview, and he's just saying, like, this is the cool. Now, he compared it to, he said, like, this was better than winning the Open in Ireland. His only major that he's had. And he said, like, I live for the Ryder Cup. And I think that's the kind of different. Would Scotty Scheffler or, one of
they
the other
wouldn't
boys
say that.
No, they would just say, no, give me the Masters, anytime. So and what a legend Larry is, and he's such a cool, down to earth guy, and he's Irish as well, so that's awesome.
A lot of Irish in the tournament.
What about the incident with Rose and DeChambeau's caddy?
I mean, that was actually, I don't think that was like what happened last time when there was a bit of argy-bargy with Cantlay and all that. I think the caddy actually thought that his guy DeChambeau was away,
right?
But it was marginally. It was Rose was further away, and then when he was getting too close to he was just like get out of my way.
Yeah.
And Rose didn't say it like he had a bit of a mean face on, and he's
for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
But then DeChambeau came up and decided to make a bit. Don't you ever talk to my caddy?
Yeah, right.
I said, what? And he goes, he was in my way. I was away. I had to play. What's he doing standing there? Anyway, it only lasted in between the transfer to the next tee box, but
the blood boils, doesn't it? It gets everyone pumped.
Yeah. Well, with all that abuse, but it was amazing.
All
actually.
the steroids start kicking in.
Well, the thing you have to remember about Bryson is that he's a very American. He's on the spectrum, so he lacks some kind of like social awareness. I think but he has like a good heart. You can tell he's like, no, I want to do it for the kids. He's like decided on these things, but there's some sort of like. There's something like not clicking. There's some sort of genuineness that's missing, but it's not his fault. I think
he's like a very mature kind of kid.
Exactly. Very American. I mean, for better or worse, that's something that's kind of
maybe
chronic.
A little bit of naivety and yeah. So I don't think he thinks things through, and it's all big drive and hands up in the air. And
I think in the moment as well, he thought like I have to get up and defend the US and my caddy. And
I think
he was credit. Like a lot of people really appreciated him for that too.
He was the best guy on the team.
Kind of cheerleading.
He was the best guy on the team.
Yeah, you want that spirit, Like you guys were saying, like the Americans needed something to root for. It sounds like he and JT was doing that too. Like that actually, because we'd seen JT at Zozo. And I kind of had like a poor taste in, I thought like he's like I don't know what to think of him, But I thought he was really good in the Ryder Cup. You could tell he
was, and he was actually
he played well in the
singles, he was getting the crowd to calm down when he was playing against the Europeans. He was like, "Come on, calm down, let they're taking the shot." And then he sympathized after. He said like, "Look, they were getting it went a little bit over the line."
Do you think that it's on anyone else? Like like Rory's playing partners that are American, is it on them to even kind of calm the crowd? I mean, I can kind of see.
I mean, it's not on them to do it, but they're human beings. Like they're hearing the grief.
I would have liked to have heard more from Keegan speaking after each day and saying, the crowds are amazing, they're so supportive, but hey guys, come on, let's be a little bit more respectful.
They're putting up notices on all the screens around the course to say like, please show more respect to the European
but
players.
it needed to come from probably like Keegan, people that are in the spotlight over those days. But I
agree.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be captain next time.
That's an interesting one. Do you think Luke Donald will go a third time?
100%.
Jeez.
Mate, the comments that he was getting from the team and everything afterwards. I don't know if you watched
the
the
European
whole
team loves
conference.
Consistency. It seems like the American team.
Like that's their benefit right now too. I mean,
the American team just like even when they get a winning, so like Whistling Straits, the time before last, they beat the Europeans by 10 points. And you would think they would just roll out the same guys for 2 years later in Europe, and they didn't. And that is down to captaincy. Actually, captains' picks are very. They could have brought in Koepka. They could have brought in. I suppose it was in the middle of all the live stuff, and that affected it. But well, you see now the Americans will again. You'll see a new team, 5 rookies.
Sorry, go back. Why? Why did it disrupt it? I mean, Rahm was there.
Yeah, I mean, so they weren't getting points and stuff like that. I mean, captain's pick can pick anybody. He could pick the live guys, which they did. But why they didn't pick the same guys to go to Rome, I do not know. Because look at the Europeans; it's basically the same team that won in Rome, right? Minus one Højgaard brother for the other.
I mean, they got December there. He's from live.
Yeah, but it's 5 rookies. So that in talking about consistency, and. Guys who are
taking rookies over experience.
Consistency, and guys who have experience in that environment playing with the same guy, and maybe they can draw on that experience. We got a point last time.
Even being captain, I mean, I think the Americans should keep Keegan again. I mean, and start to build on that.
Well, I'm Team Europe, so I hope they keep Keegan as well.
Got a microphone. That's actually a good point. Did you see Luke Donald in the post? They were saying like, what kind of things did you do as like an away winning captain? And he was like, changed all the bedding,
unbelievable.
All the beds, made sure there was no lights coming in, made sure their rooms were all top notch.
Isn't that weird? Did you hear that?
I heard a little bit.
Very
that made me wonder: were the rooms set up to make them uncomfortable? Like he made it sound like we had to change all the sheets. It was just uncomfortable. We changed the sheets, the bedding, all of this type of thing.
The whole time Keegan is like, "You've unraveled my plans."
Yeah,
I don't think so. I mean, he's obviously meticulous, and he's done nothing but this for 2 years full time just to make any little edge.
So detailed. Yeah.
I'll say it again. I just enjoyed so much listening to the after game press conference with the team, especially the European team, and listening to these type of things. And at the same time, other players they're going, hey, that's enough. Don't say any more.
Don't let them in.
Yeah,
because it's true actually. Because if you look back there, like, and I've listened to other podcasts dissecting it and all the rest of it, and even the captains, the sub-captains or the vice-captains, like Europeans, they had the Spanish guy, right, a winning captain in his own right, had played with Seve. He's the link to Seve, and they all call on Seve. They don't have anyone like that in the European or in the American team. And then you have like, what's the other guy? Thomas Bjorn, another winning captain, McGinley. He was like the unseen captain. He was commentating, saying how amazing Europe was and all that was.
So why isn't Woods captain? Like the captain
again? And this is the reason why they're so good in singles, because they're not team players in golf. They're so focused on their own game. They go out there every week competing with each other, and they just can't flip it over into a team.
No.
mindset.
I'm talking about why isn't Woods doing what Keegan's doing?
Because Woods is the biggest individual player of them all. I know he played in the Ryder Cup. Look at his Ryder Cup record.
Not so great.
22 losses. 22 losses, and I think Mickelson has 21 losses. And that's the only thing Mickelson has ever beaten Tiger in. he's got one less loss than Tiger. So, like, these are individual players, and that's the way they're built.
Mickelson's beaten like much better in Live than Tiger
that's
was.
true. But and I think that's what it is. So, America is super dangerous. They could have won every match on that Sunday and won it. That's how good they are at singles.
I heard it came down to like a few putts, right? So
Well, it came down. It was red most of the day.
Well, Shane Lowry got a half. Shane Lowry got a half, and then that made sure that they kept the cup. But for the win, it was Hatton got a half. That's how close it was. It doesn't really matter what happens after that. You know, if those matches had gone the other way, that would have been a point to America, and they would have won.
right.
Incredible, right? So that's how close it is. So that's how good. So as much as we shit on them about how bad they are at team, they're so good as individuals. They get the best golfers in the world. Then you can see that the rankings make a difference. You know, they have, you know, most of the top players in the world, right? So that was amazing. So fair play to America for the almost comeback.
The other thing, as long as we're kind of like, you know, raising the flag for America right now, they also won the award for best dressed.
Yeah, it's true.
I got confused sometimes watching it. It's like, sorry, that was similar to theirs one the day before.
I know, which day is it?
Type of thing.
The European brown shirt that has to go in the bin. Nobody's going to wear that.
Baby sheep brown.
Yeah, and then they had like a kind of a mild yellow with brown stripe accents on it. It was like, God, that doesn't matter.
The Americans looked a little bit childish, like the one like looked like the stripes on the tummy or something like that. But like, but I'd wear it. Like
actually,
the pants look great.
How common is it? Like Scotty was saying it. Like both Scotty and Rory played every match.
Yeah.
So how common is that? I mean, they've got so many players to choose from, so they don't actually have to have like two players playing every match.
No, they don't. And actually, if you think about it, right, that's 18 holes in the morning, 18 holes in the afternoon, walking in that kind of concentration, that kind of pressure. I don't care who you are, you're going to be wrecked. And you've used 2 days of that in that kind of stuff. So you could see Rory at the end of it. Now, he'd obviously had a few beers in the press conference, but he looked rattled. He looked like he was going to sleep for about 4 days. He was wrecked, you know. And same as Scheffler. Scheffler looked like he'd gone a few rounds with somebody, even though he'd won his match in the end, but he was just wrecked.
Scotty said the same thing. Scotty said he was wrecked, you know, and him and Rory, obviously on that last day when they were playing against each other, they were chatting between holes or something. So he said, you know, I've been chatting to Rory and playing 5 rounds. It's really hard. We know we're totally, you know, nutted, you know, looking forward to some R&R.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, I can't remember which one it was, but I remember you want to put guys there who are hot. If guys are playing well, they might go out together and stuff. And Hatton is a great sample of that on Saturday when...
I thought Cam Young too, man.
Yeah, I mean, he was rookie, right? So he's full of beans. He's like, this is awesome. It's the best thing. He was saying in the press conference, best thing I've ever been involved in my life. So he'd probably do another round on Saturday, no problem, right? And he's young, right? But I think the more experienced guys, they know how much focus it takes. So it's better to rest them. Yeah, better to rest them, I reckon. Interesting one. Someone called out Phil Mickelson as a future possible captain, right? We talked about Mickelson. And he immediately shut it down. And he said, not for me. I'm not interested. But he said, here's an interesting idea. Why don't we get one of the better, because it's obviously we're lacking in the team department. So get one of he mentioned some guys who I don't know who they are, you probably know, but they were like famous American football coaches. He said, what about getting one of them in to coach how to be a team and just focus on that? Which I have no idea. But what do you think as an American?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like the movie Top Gun Maverick. You want all the golfers playing beach volleyball together to build teamwork or something, you know,
with their tops off.
Yeah, exactly.
Some baby oil.
This sort of extracurricular activities, you know. Yeah,
Iceman.
Yeah.
That is actually true. I think the Europeans, at every opportunity, they were playing rounds together. But I think it got a bit deeper than that. So
who's the new CEO of the PGA?
Oh, it's a guy from
from NFL.
Yeah, that's right.
So they've kind of already started doing that. Yeah.
There's one point that I thought was interesting was, so the Europeans basically wanted to put exactly the same team out as they did, and they were helping, like say Tyrrell Hatton, who's playing on Live, to get enough points to automatically qualify. So he had to do 3 events in the European Tour, which he did. He had to score well. Edward Molinari, their stats guy, was giving him all the stats to get him. So they're coaching them through the year on how to play better. So they were doing exactly what they need for each player to make sure that those 12 plus the captain's picks that he wanted to be able to go. And so they're really thinking about it. Whereas the Americans are like, Keegan Bradley's playing himself. He won a tournament recently, right? He won the Travelers. He's top 13 in the rankings himself. So
in a very unprofessional manner.
They're all doing their own thing. And like did you hear anything from any captain on the American team on the lead up to it or afterwards? Nothing. Couldn't even tell you who all the captains were. I know Snedeker was there. Steve Stricker. No, Steve Stricker wasn't. It was the other guy.
Oh, no.
Yeah, exactly, right?
You could have fooled me. You could have said this is the first time the Americans ever participated in the Ryder Cup, and I'd be like, "Oh, really? Yeah, is that right?" Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. They used to dominate it, but once it
really
became
89 years or something, no?
I mean, once it was Great Britain and Ireland against America, and America was just so vast and had such a better team.
It sort of seems like this year's Europe was all Great Britain and Ireland, though. I mean, like
not all, no,
like McIlroy, McIntyre, Fleetwood, Rose. Fitzpatrick.
Yep.
These are all
there's good. There's always a kind of a core contingent from England and Ireland. It's whoever really kind of goes to the States and establishes themselves over there, becomes like a world, kind of player.
Yeah.
Ram from Spain,
I mean, it's just the Terminator, dude. Like that shot that he made out of the bunker to sink it. Like, it was.
It's good to see this guy. It's good to see every part of Europe represented if you can. I always like that. But we had a few scans.
What happened with Alberg? Like he got sick.
Oberg, he won his match on Sunday after winning or after losing the
pairs.
Yeah, the pairs.
Hovland.
Yeah. So Hovland, he pulled a muscle in his neck. Did you see the envelope rule come into effect? I didn't know about it. Remember last week we were talking about what happens if one guy gets sick?
Yeah.
Can one of the vice captains jump in? And no. So what happens is at the beginning of the tournament, before there's a ball hit, they have to get the weakest or whatever if just in case one guy is sick, both the other team has to take their weakest player off the team, and then they get a half a point each. Never knew that rule. It's a 30-year-old rule or hasn't been used in 30 years. So here when Hovland hurt his neck and he withdrew, they opened the envelope that Keegan had prepared, and it was Harris English. And then he went out, and they both got a half point. Now, some were arguing that was Luke Donald's doing strategy to get an extra half a point.
Of course they're going to say that.
But they got a half a point too, right? Yeah. So it's not like that. But they were saying that the new rules that they're going to try and push forward is that it's going to be a forfeit. So like in tennis or in any other sport, if you don't show up for injury or whatever.
I want to know the stats on how many times the US has used that.
So it's only been done once before.
And it's benefited them only once ever in its history.
Yeah, 30 years ago. That's as far as I could get.
By European or by American?
I have no idea.
Yeah, that's curious.
But yeah, so they put the name of the player, both of them do it. And then if whatever the other player is,
seems fair.
They'll automatically draw.
Either team has the option to do it.
I mean, they both get a half point.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, like I think it's like one. It's interesting because the away team has more stress on them. You're traveling internationally, all this stuff. It's so you're more likely to maybe get sick or injured, maybe. But I don't like the idea that basically you rob the other team of being able to play. So it's like. I think that's sort of a shame. It's just sort of like...
I think at the end of the day, if someone's sick or injured, they're sick or injured.
Yeah, so you forfeit.
Yeah. No. So I think we go back to what I said last week. Then a vice captain jumps in. How cool would that be?
That's okay. Yeah.
Right? Or the captain himself. Anybody can jump in. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be hard because, days leading up to that. If it's the last day, it's really hard because it's like, well, he's playing really shit. So let's say he's injured and we'll put this person in.
Yeah.
So that I would say would be unfair. But
or you could, with the captains in agreement, they could pick a match and double the points down.
No, and that's probably why they've got the current system.
Exactly, yeah.
Because it's sacrifice for both parties. So you can do it, but it's not really necessarily good for you either.
Oh, an interesting quote that I just seen. Tom Watson had said he congratulated them but felt embarrassed. He said at Ryder
I saw
Cup
his
Europe,
interview.
Did you see this?
No, I watched him.
I've got the quote. Listen, your team play for the first few days was sensational. More importantly, I'd like to apologise for the rude and mean-spirited behaviour from our American crowd at Bethpage. As a former player captain, and as this is just a reason that they're so good, and doesn't matter. Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
But he's not the only one that's coming out and saying it. Come on.
Wow.
Yeah.
Everyone knew it. Everyone felt it.
Well, and Americans have no support for each other. That's actually true of the Olympics and everything, where it's like, so of course, like any captain is just going to throw away the fans. It's the way the fans are like,
there's thousands and thousands of people there, and it wasn't everyone. It was just a bunch of people. So I don't want to say Americans, but it was obviously a group of people that should not be allowed into those events ever again.
Yeah. I mean, I think, I think we're after the aftermath now. Nobody's going to do it again. If they're golfers and they see this, they're going to say, "Yeah, it was a bit too much. We want to see good golf." So we'll give them a bit of stick, but when they step up to a ball, we'll shut up. And then throwing stuff or abusing the wives. I mean, that's just nuts. Nobody's going to do that. I mean, that's too much.
Devil's advocate, and I can't say it happened or anything like that, but I mean, obviously the crowd were giving the players heaps, right? I wonder if there was any going the other way that were instigated by the players.
You definitely saw a lot of they were kind of feeding off it. But
I mean, you could see Thomas.
I doubt it.
Thomas
happened,
raising he's going, let's go, and raising it up. But that's like cheer on America.
Yeah, for sure.
That's okay.
But you've got people up there in outfits and uniforms and stuff like that.
Yeah, but it's all
you just
conspiracy.
imagine, one of the players like Rory going past him and go, fucking look at this dickhead, whatever it is.
Chicken and the egg, I would say the fans started it, but then the players definitely kind of fed into it. So it's like, yeah, take that. Look what
it's just that aggressiveness. It's
super
just
aggressive. I remember there was one guy and he was leaning against the fence and he had like, what do you call those? He had overalls on but no top underneath, so it's like his hairy chest was sticking out, and he was screaming at Rory and he was like, "You're a choker. Look at this guy, he's a choker." It was like that. That's my New York accent.
So I was playing golf with a guy yesterday, an American, and I can't remember who he said he had heard it from, but he had said that on the day and stuff like that, he'd never heard so many FUs being sent to people.
DSJ were teaching the crowd, they were saying, "Okay, everybody, this is 7 a.m. in the morning. F you, Rory, F you, Rory," and they're all screaming.
No. I'm trying to be polite to the podcast. They didn't say FU. They said the whole thing.
Wow.
No, I know. Yeah, I'm polite for the podcast.
Same thing.
Yeah, that was such a shame. But anyway, I think there was some. Let's focus on the positives, right? The performances. Who was the man of the match for you? Who hit the best performance over the 3 days that you've seen?
Should we pick one for each team or just one tournament?
For sure, it was DeChambeau for me, for the Americans.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I would say Cameron Young for the Americans. I don't know.
Cameron Young was good also.
He played really well.
Rookie.
He seemed like he was well composed and everything.
I've got to say Rory probably, to be honest.
Yeah, Rory played pretty well, considering he was getting the worst. He was definitely getting the worst of the abuse.
He was definitely kind of the I don't know about flagship or what. He was sort of the flag bearer,
Justin Rose.
Yeah.
Justin Rose at 45, those putts, walking the putts in and everything.
Oh, yeah, totally.
How good is that? That was cold, actually. He hit the putt, and it was like a 25-foot putt, and he's walking after it, and it just drops. That's cold. Do you think Rose could be another? I'm sorry, I'm all over the place here. Do you think Rose could be another Ryder Cup captain? He's at the right age.
He would care about it.
Oh, he could probably play himself on to the next one.
2 more years, yeah.
At 45,
I think in the future, 100% he'll be a captain going forward.
For sure.
Such a great record.
I have to give it to Shane Lowry. Winning putt, just as the way he was looking after Rory, he was like a bouncer and a player at the same time. And he was playing well. He was sinking putts.
This is the difference, though. I mean, the Europeans, all of them played at such a high level, quite close to each other, where the Americans were a little bit more sporadic. So I think it's easy to pick one for the American side than there is for the European side, almost. If that makes sense.
That makes perfect sense.
I think DeChambeau, if he had been paired correctly with somebody, I thought that would have been good. But I mean, he was with Scheffler and they got hammered. But I feel like, he's such a weird personality. But if you could find somebody who gets it and can vibe off him, like
a Grant Horvat.
That probably would have been.
Yeah.
Justin Thomas and Jordan Spieth. Like those two guys were just they must have an amazing Ryder Cup record. What happened to Jordan Spieth? He's only in his early 30s.
Yeah.
He should have qualified. He didn't have his mate as the captain this year to get him on. A couple of other things that came up that you mentioned Rory as your man of the match. What a year he's had. So he's had he's won the Masters,
the trifecta, and
a career Grand Slam. Won a Pebble, won the Players, won the Irish Open, and won an away Ryder Cup. That's a good year. And he said that's what he said. That I have so much to be thankful for. Yeah. Best year of my life. Amazing, isn't it? So do you reckon you would like to see the same captains for the next time? We said Luke Donald, yes.
Strategically, 100%.
Do you really blame Keegan though? I mean, because where did he drop the ball? He might have dropped the ball with maybe some preparation. The pairing, Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know if the pairings. I think more so the club condition, the course conditions. I think he definitely dropped the ball on that, because if that's on him, then I think that was a failing. But I think with the pairings, I mean, like, I don't think it could have been better. I mean,
I think if you went to Keegan and said, okay, and I'm sure it's already been asked of him, but what he would say to media compared to what he's telling himself in his soul would be two different things, right? And if he's looking deep down in his soul and had said, okay, if I could repair everyone again, knowing what I know, hindsight, all that type of stuff, I guarantee they would not be the same.
Right. So what you're saying is, if he had a second bite of the cherry when he goes to Ireland down 2 years, he'll learn those lessons.
100%.
And that's another reason why he should be captain again, though.
But they don't like that in America. When you're a losing captain, you're a losing captain.
Oh,
You're out.
That's ridiculous. Now.
Yeah, remember Zach? Zach came back from America. He was almost
Zach
like
Johnson, yeah.
he almost
Who's
removed
the
his
captain
passport.
for the President's Cup on the American side? Because there's been some talk that, like,
no,
it should be the same
that's
guy.
Snedeker.
But they're different organizations, so it doesn't quite work like that. But I mean, people were saying that he should be the one for.
I don't know, man. The President's Cup is a bit Mickey Mouse, to be honest. It doesn't have the same, it's an exhibition game. It's basically a warm up to see who's in form and get used to that kind of format for the Ryder Cup. It is getting maybe a little bit more contended, but it's just like the US win it every time. I think the international team won it once, is it?
Something like that. Yeah. Just going back to it, I think if the players are really supportive of Keegan, that will really show through as well. But if they've got any distaste to how he ran it for this event and everything like that, that will also come through. And so that will really play into whether he's
that's
chosen.
true. Like, I really agree with that. Like, so if it starts bubbling up where they're kind of defending him, or they're like, no, he should, like, if they're asking for him again, they should do it again. But if there's not that,
every
that
single
support,
one of
then
those
it's kind of
guys is
reshuffle.
soul searching right now.
Mate, how good would he have been if he had been a player?
I would
We
have
knew
shitted
to
on
kind
him
of
so
lead
much.
forward. Yeah.
Like, because he is like, he's all high intensity, Mr. USA, right? He would have been amazing. Stick him in with Bryson.
Right.
Well,
It'd be
when he beat Fleetwood, what was it?
When he won the Travelers.
The Travelers, he won that and he was fist pumping and going for it as if that was the Riders.
Yeah.
That was his warm up for the Riders almost. And I don't think he'd already made the decision yet whether he's going to play or not, type of thing. But he could have been a good player, but I don't think he would have been a good player and captain.
No.
So how about Europe? Would you like,
He's not moving.
an
Lou Donald's
institution,
there. It is.
To be honest with you, I reckon they're so good at grooming captains and the old captains staying involved. It's a real team. So they have a like a master
It's already
plan.
done.
They have a master plan.
I
but
agree.
They know who's going to do. I mean, Harrington, obviously he got shafted by going to Whistling Straits, and that American team were amazing. And that was the highest ever, winning margin, right? 10 points. So they just got steamrolled. But other than that, it's usually pretty consistent and close. So I would say it doesn't really matter who would be the captain. I mean, I think Luke Donald, just to mix it up a bit, let's give someone else a go. Get Rosie in there, or, Henrik Stenson, bring him back in. Sergio.
I agree with what you said. They're already grooming. They've probably already got their captains already picked for the next 6 years.
Yeah. The one 6 years away from now, they're already getting in,
and that could
right
well be
headspace.
Rory, for example.
I don't think Rory's going to become a captain for at least 10 years.
Okay, well, whoever it is, I just think it's already in their pipeline.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yep.
And every Ryder Cupper they always say whoever plays in the Ryder Cup gets a shot at being the captain. So I think that's good. It should be like that. Everyone will, because if it stays Luke Donald, they'll just analyze the crap out of what he did, and they'll say, "Oh, we know what he's going to do. This is how they're going to set it up, and this is what he's going to do." So get someone else.
Yeah, but it's also
ideas.
down to the players at the time as well. So.
Yeah.
One other good thing about the whole thing was it got me kind of excited for the Bay Current Classic, because we'll have
That's right.
Xander and JT and Morikawa be reunited here in Yokohama. But were there any Europeans that are also coming to that? Or I think those are the three that played in the Ryder Cup that will be in Yokohama next week. Can you believe that?
Yeah. Next week, it's just
It's right. It's right at the doorstep. Yeah.
No, I think you got a couple of Aussies as well. We got Min Woo Lee,
Oh yeah.
Yep, Adam Scott.
Looking forward to the Bay Current Classic, and I think we've been, with the Ryder Cup, and then we get the PGA Tour event next week. It's just been golf crazy, golf heaven.
A lot of playing a lot too. Like you guys have been going out to a lot of places. Did you have bad weather yesterday, Damon? I wanted to ask about
Yeah, it was golf weather still, but it was just raining all day. You know?
I went out the day before that on Tuesday, and it was immaculate.
Mm.
Playing a great golf course, Narita Hills Country Club, so nice. It's a peat dye, so there's island greens. It's like TPC Sawgrass with the, the players. And it's just such a nice golf course. And we had a beautiful day. I was playing with this cool Canadian guy, Matt. Shout out to Matt. And he was playing well. He was hitting some lovely shots. And it was just a great day. And we're going playing tomorrow. Yay.
Yeah. I mean, I was out at Fuji, and it was elusive Fuji day. So
one of those. Yeah.
That sucks.
Lucky enough, Jake, who I played with, he's playing today as well, and the weather is really nice today. But we're out there yesterday, not even a glimpse of Fuji. It was nothing. It was just cloudy, rainy all day.
That happens, eh?
And then I dropped him off at the hotel, and there she was. She came out in all the glory.
Oh, really?
Them sweeping across the sky. Yeah.
The weather tomorrow is a bit cloudy.
Yeah, it looks nice
low
tomorrow.
18, high of 25.
Yeah, it's got a perfect golf day.
Kieran, I also played on last Tuesday, and you're
That's
right.
right,
It was heading out is a bit scary with all the rain, but then once you pulled up to the mountains, it's beautiful.
We didn't get
beautiful,
any
clear
rain.
day.
I was in Chiba. You were over in
Well, I mean,
Yamanashi.
like I said, just on the road, while driving, there was rain. But once we were there, was no rain. But playing with the course manager for our latest partner course, Tomei Fuji. Country
I've
Club.
never played Tomei Fuji. What's that all about?
Oh, it's beautiful. It's check out the website for all the details. But it has a nice view of Fuji, kind of across that Gotemba Valley. So just like maybe an extra 20 minutes drive, you can get over to the Gotemba premium outlets. So it's kind of a good location in that regard. The facility is a bit showing its age. So it's like kind of a few places where you might need to put a pan down to catch the water. But the bath was nice, the locker rooms were fine.
How was the course?
The food was not much. The course, you can tell that's what they put their focus on. So they kept the course in really good condition. We had 52 British guests that passed through there previously, and they all said the same thing. They said this is a fun course. The course is quite wide, so you can really hit it down. It's got a lot of verticality, on being a kind of a hilly mountain course. But the thing that stood out for me though was playing with the Shihain in there. Mr. Kaneko, he was giving me all sorts of secret lessons, and
Secret lessons?
Oh yeah, my basically my golf club turned into like a lightsaber, and
So when you got your lesson off Joe, he didn't give you any secret?
no, man, with Joe, it's just putting me down and
Shout out to Pro Joe. We haven't actually
standing
given him any
behind me
abuse.
extra close.
We haven't what?
We haven't given him any abuse because he's not here.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this.
We've still got
He was
5
standing.
minutes
He was rubbing against my leg previously when he was giving me the lessons. So I don't know, man. Joe is.
He does that.
He's probably strapped into his chair with his seatbelt.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was 2 episodes ago. He came in wearing a belt that was like it was like an airline belt buckle.
Yeah, it had to be
for your
there.
seatbelts. Fair play to us. We're just not stylish enough, lads.
I but as a
I
beginner,
don't think he's stylish enough to wear that either. Come on.
But as a beginner, it was quite fun playing with an older Japanese guy because he would give me good advice, and I was like, sweet, and we're running around like Luke Skywalker and Yoda, but he's basically on my shoulders. But he doesn't hit it much farther than me either, because he's showing his age, So it's kind of it's actually a good pairing in that regard.
That's good.
What'd you hit?
So we had he was like, let's not keep count, let's just do it. But
nice.
I think if I added up, I think it probably was 132 or 140, something like that.
Yeah.
I think it was less than I did previously, but
You had a good time
still,
there.
it's no point in counting. Yeah, really great off the tee. So
Nice.
for the first time in my golfing career.
How many air fresh did you have?
Not many. See, that was the other thing that he taught me. It's just where you can kind of practice. So it's okay, when you're waiting on the next group, just pick a leaf, swing at that leaf, and it was okay. So that kind of got me to loosen up, and
That's actually good. Yeah.
So,
Okay, I always say that to the kids: brush the grass
yeah,
when you're taking your practice.
yeah, because you're just trying to get that sense of distance to the ground, right? It's easier said than done.
Okay, and we're going playing golf tomorrow.
We are.
So shout out to, what is it called? It's called the Europe versus America.
Yep.
It's not a Ryder Cup, but it's kind of a weird team format. But we're both going to play for Europe, so let's go Team Europe.
Let's do it.
Anyway, well, okay. Well, look, we'll leave it there, boys, and let's recongregate next week when we have the Baycrown Classic. So
Can't
until
wait.
then,
Baker.
sayonara,
Sayonara.
and well done, Europe.
Yay.